Hey guys, today is the best kind of day. It's new microphone day. Lewitt Audio was kind enough to send over the LCT 440 Pure to me to check out, and I'm going to put it up against my Neumann TLM103 to see how these mics stack up. Now, I'm using the Neumann for pretty much everything that involves voice recording, from narration and VO to podcasting, audiobooks, YouTube videos, of course, but a lot of people are looking for a more budget-friendly option because the Neumanns are a little bit expensive. The 440 Pure is less than a third of the price, and I'm really curious to see how it sounds in comparison, so let's just get straight into this. First and foremost, taking a look at specs, these mics are pretty similar in how they perform. I always look at equivalent noise or self-noise first because I want these microphones not to color anything with their own kind of noise from electronics. They're both sitting at 7 dBA, which is extremely quiet for self-noise in microphones. Pretty much anything below 12 dBA is going to be great for recording quiet sounds like ambiances or really delicate, whispers or anything like that with the voice, so that's fantastic. I also look at the maximum level that these microphones are able to take, so that's the max SPL measurement. The Neumann's sitting up there at 138 dB SPL. The LCT 440 Pure is at 140, so they can both take extremely loud sounds without distorting or causing any kind of damage to the microphone. The polar patterns on both are also cardioids, so they're really good at picking up exactly what's in front of the microphone, and they reject all the sound coming from behind the microphone, like room noise or reverb or any of the things that you don't necessarily want in your recordings. And of course, they're both large capsule condenser mics, which means they're going to require phantom power. They're also going to be a little bit less responsive to the sounds around them than, say, small capsule condenser mics, because these larger diaphragms inside these mics take a little bit more energy to move around. So sonic energy has to be a little bit more active. It has to be a little bit louder for these mics to really pick it up. That's great for separating noise and kind of ambient sounds from sounds that you really want captured, like your voice. Now, I do a little bit of processing to my voice, so let's just take all that off and get the raw sound out of both the Neumann and the 440 Pure. You can tell with the Neumann, it's nice and smooth. The top end is a little bit bright. The low end is really nice and pleasant. It's pretty well rounded. It's got a few frequencies that I'd notch out, but overall, it's a really sweet sounding microphone, and they actually have a reputation for being kind of clinical because Neumann is so consistent with the sounds of their mics. Now, switching over to the LCT 440 Pure, you can tell it's pretty similar. The first thing I notice off the bat is this is actually a slightly louder microphone than the Neumann, so the signal's going to be a little bit hotter. You're not going to have to turn your preamps up as much to get the level out of this mic that you might want. So that could be good, could be bad, really depends on what you're doing. It has a really quiet noise floor, so again, you're not getting a lot of mic noise coloration, and you're not getting a whole lot of the ambient sounds around this mic, so that's really great, again, for isolating the voice or whatever you happen to be recording. This also sounds pretty smooth in comparison, honestly very similar to the Neumann. I hear a little bit more harshness in the top end, very, very subtly. It's not like a huge crazy, I can never use this microphone again. It's just a little bit more of a nuance that this mic is, again, a little bit harsher in the higher frequencies than the Neumann is naturally, but that's something you can correct with EQ, or your ears may prefer it. Again, really depends on what you're doing and what you like. I'm kind of impressed with the similarities between these mics. Once I kind of level match everything so that record levels are the same, they sound pretty similar to each other. I can bounce back over to the Neumann here, and you can tell there's not a whole lot that's different. Noise floor is the same, room reflections are pretty similar. It's really a great sounding mic. And back to the LCT 440 Pure, again, not a lot of differences. There are really very, very subtle nuances that each mic has, but they're pretty comparable overall. Also, because both these mics are cardioid pickup patterns, you can get what's called the proximity effect out of them. So the closer you get to one of these mics, like the Neumann here, the more low end it kind of artificially picks up. So you get this nice kind of radio presenter voice. Now, this is what the Neumann sounds like just, by moving 2 or 3 inches closer to the mic than I was. I can move over to the LCT 440 Pure and do the exact same thing, and it experiences that same effect of kind of boosting the presence of a voice naturally. Now again, the 440 is a little bit harsher in the top end than the Neumann is, but moving back to the TLM103, it's really not that different. So I think these mics are both pretty comparable in sound, given a few nuances, like I said, and otherwise they're both fantastic for indoor voiceover use and recording really clear, present voices from close up. Lewitt also did the accessories for this mic really well. It comes with a mic cradle that perfectly fits the mic. It comes with a pop filter that you can just mount magnetically onto that cradle, and it's metal, so it's not like it's going to get weird, and it's not mesh, so it's not going to get destroyed over the long term. They also included a little windscreen for it, so just in case you're recording outside, you have a little bit of protection against wind buffeting. And they've got directions for beginners, so if you're totally new to recording and you need some basic instructions on how to use the mic, they've got it all laid out pretty clearly, so that's a really great thing. I'll go back to the Neumann here and engage all my voice processing that I personally prefer when I'm using this mic, and I'll do the same thing for the 440 Pure and try and match them to see what exactly I can get out of this without too much effort. I think they're really comparable microphones in a lot of ways. So if you're doing voiceovers or podcasting, or really anything that involves voice recording at all, the LCT 440 Pure really does give the Neumann TLM103 kind of a run for its money, and I think it's going to be a fantastic purchase for anybody who's in the market for a new mic. If you want to know more about it or pick one up for yourself, go check out the link in the description. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe. I'm over on Instagram at AXK, so come follow me there. And as always, thanks for watching.